Cinematic Universe, they've made it abundantly clear. I've made it clear to you guys. There's been stragglers who didn't want it to be true because they like to think that we're all just toxic man babies who are just dreaming up or conjuring up narratives and talking points just for the sake of YouTube views. No, we were right. We were right all along. The bottom line is that they are not prioritizing actually entertaining fucking anybody really anymore. Let's take a little step back. They're prioritizing in some way entertaining people, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that is. But there are boxes that they have to check first and foremost, and they will check those before they entertain you. So what that means is that merit is not at the top of the list really in anything it is that they are doing going forward. That is not something that is my opinion. This is something that they have made clear. We know where Disney's going, but even the Marvels of the world, the Kevin Feige's, who really is the head honcho of all of this, has made it clear. Victoria Alonso, which I don't even know how she got that damn job, has made it clear that that's what it is that they care about. It's what social narrative they can check first in terms of the box. Then the entertainment comes second. And another executive, or rather the same executive in Victoria Alonso, has continuously doubled down. So when we bring something up, they say we take it out of context. We bring another thing up, well, it's different. Like she said, it's the same woman that said, Victoria Alonso, same woman, that was like, why do they call the X-Men the X-Men? There's a lot of women there, like as if the word men isn't in women as well. But she's stupid. So you got to give her some sort of leeway. Unfortunately, when it went mainstream, you went in from you adapting comic books. However, what happens is that Hollywood, they aren't generally connected to this source material. That's just a point of reference for them. So whatever, they're new to it for the most part. A lot of these guys, from actors, actresses on down, this is the one negative thing that happened when things became mainstream, like it did now. Yes, there are the Spider-Mans, the Supermans, the Batmans. They're part of American culture, and there are a lot of people that know who those characters are, having never picked up a book. But you get what it is that I'm saying. Over the last decade and some change, we're in a new stratosphere in terms of mainstream appeal of comic book based material. And Victoria Alonso has been along for this ride with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and she said a lot of stupid things. So she said before, the diversity and all of these representation, these buzz terms, are things that she's going to prioritize and things they're going to prioritize. Kevin Feige has admitted that with the Eternals, that was the reason why they wanted to use that cast. If you notice that none of the Eternals look like the Eternals. I think like all but two of them are completely tokenized. And it's because he had said that he wanted to use kind of those more obscure characters because he didn't care about the damn source material, because it would, I guess, make people like us less likely to be upset at a change because they aren't as knowledgeable, let's say, of the X-Men. But they're going to tokenize them too. So that ain't never stopped them. I think that's just bullshit. But let's see what Victoria Alonso had to say. I'm reading from CBR. And as it states, Marvel Studios executive Victoria Alonso promises more LGBTQ representation in the future Marvel films and Disney Plus TV series. The Marvel Cinematic Universe will continue to have more LGBTQ plus representation in both in the future of both Marvel films and Disney Plus series set in the MCU, according to Victoria Alonso. And this is her speaking to Variety about Marvel's commitment to being true to who the characters are in its depiction of various characters of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which of course involves a good deal of LGBTQ representation. That is fucking bullshit. This is the gaslighting that they like to do. Y'all do not give a goddamn about making the characters true to themselves. What's more than likely going to end up happening is that they're going to take, like what they did with Loki, where they completely remove context of any shape shifting it is that they do, and then they up and just declare on bisexual because reasons, right? That was not something that was canonized, no matter how much people want to say, until recent depictions, let's say comic book wise. I don't care about what you think about the Norse mythology. He wasn't bisexual there either. I've already done numerous videos on that. Y'all thinking, oh, well, he did this and he was a horse and he gave birth, therefore bisexual. That's not how fucking bisexuality works. Number one, but either way, that's bullshit. So let's get that out the way. That's complete hogwash. But that's a prime example of what it is that I'm talking about, where they just up and do it just like that. And what's going to happen is that they're going to take characters, two things nobody asked for, and they're going to make characters that have never been gay, bisexual, lesbian, or characters that have been, this is like the recent phenomena, right? So characters being lesbian or gay out of nowhere is something that happened, let's say, within the same time frame that the Marvel Cinematic Universe was launched. Iceman, which is one of the most criminal things that has ever happened in comic books, was them just up and making, who was a playboy, Iceman just up and make them gay. So Victoria Alonso's gaslighting when she says this shit. By the way, because we know that's not the direction that they're going. If you think you're going to get North Star, you're fucking wrong. You're not going to get North Star, who's one of the more longer standing gay characters. That's not what you're going to get. You're going to get tokenized versions of a character who then becomes gay. So you got this weird sort of love triangle weird thing that they did with Wolverine and Cyclops and Jean Grey. They're going to make that's what's going to happen. So now Wolverine's going to be bisexual. That's the type of weird stuff you're going to get. North Star, you're not going to get. They already introduced Wiccan, and they botched that whole situation with the WandaVision. Wiccan, you'll be lucky if you get a grown Wiccan who actually is an original, more so homosexual character. That's not going to happen. It may happen. It'll just be late. But they're going to tokenize. She says, I also was asked about the future of LGBTQ plus representation. The fact that they're even asking these people this is hilarious. MCU is a few days after it was revealed that Loki was gender fluid. It takes time. We have so many stories we can tell. She can tell you to know we will empower those that are. We're not changing anything. We're just showing the world who these people are, who these characters are. No, you're changing shit. That's what you're doing. There's a lot that we have coming up that I think will be representative of the world today. We're not going to nail it in the first movie or the second movie or the third movie or the first show or the second show, but we will do our best to consistently try to represent. Alonso was asked if it was a difficult decision to make Loki gender fluid, and she explained, I have to be honest with you, it's not that big of a deal. It is what it is when it suits the character. We're not going to do it because it's politically correct or incorrect. Bullshit. It is what it is. Don't forget, we follow our comics. No, you don't. Like, Victoria Alonso is sitting here lying, and it's not like Variety's going to check her on it because they don't fucking read books. You have black-ass guardians in your fucking universe, bro. And that's what kills me about Loki one time in Norse mythology was a horse, and so it makes sense for him to be bisexual is what they say. Why the fuck are there black-ass guardians then? Since you care so much about Norse mythology now. Oh, that don't count. Oh, that doesn't count. You're getting it wrong anyway on the Norse mythology, but that doesn't count. You got black ass guardians. You fucked over Marvel. One of and I want to say the most criminal thing that happened in the movies, Marvel Cinematic Universe, the most criminal movie was Captain Marvel. It ain't because just Brie Larson's a dick. That's not what I'm saying. It's because of what they did to Monica Rambeau, having her look up to Carol Danvers. That didn't happen in the comic books. That doesn't even make fucking sense. She was Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers was Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers becoming Captain Marvel is a recent phenomenon within the last decade. A lot of people don't know that. She was Miss Marvel for the longer periods of time. She was never Captain Marvel until this recent decade. Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel before she was Captain Marvel, and she had no connection to Marvel being Captain Marvel. The reason they called her Captain Marvel is completely detached from Marvel. But they fucked over Marvel. They fucked over the ancient one. They fucked over multiple characters. This is not even what we're talking about, right? Like going into the future. This is what's already happened in the universe. To act like they follow the comics, we try to. She's lying right here, guys. This is what she says. Don't forget, we follow our comics. We follow them quite to the T. No, you don't. Like, this is what gets me about these people, because when I respond like this, they'll say, "Well, you can't expect it to be exactly like I can actually, but that's never my expectation, is that it's going to be an absolute direct adaptation. But I expect accuracy, and of course I would at a visual medium. But anytime I call them out on the inaccuracy, you get these MCU stans who have no connection to the comic book say, well, you're being unrealistic. You're being a toxic man, baby. Everything isn't like the comics. It's a different universe. For her to sit here and say that they follow the comics to a T, when you got motherfucking Iron Boy, you're calling him Spider-Man, but he's Iron Boy, basically being completely disconnected from how smart this kid, when he was a youngster, how smart he was supposed to be. And he's looking up to fucking Iron Man, of all people. That's not following the comics to a T. That's a demotion, number one, in that regards. It's not following the comic books to a T. Yes, I will give you this, Victoria Alonso, that you have the bulk of what made the Marvel Cinematic Universe was referencing the comic books. All the main storylines from Ragnarok to, albeit y'all fucked that up, Age of Ultron, Thanos, which is basically the loose depiction of basically the Thanos quest and the Infinity Gauntlet arc. That considered, I will recognize that at the beginning, at least, you were clearly laying a foundation that you wanted to reference the books. But somewhere in between, you said, fuck that. And then you just started bringing characters in name. And you're even telling me when in the direction that you're going. You cannot sit up here and put out the Eternals, where Ajax fucking is played by what, Selma Hayek? Oh, I guess she was the best person for the job to play a white blonde guy. The fuck? Like, what do you mean you're talking? What are you talking about? We follow them quite to a T. You could not look at the Eternals cast and say that. That's fake news. But this is where you dial it back, because you have to remember, they're not talking to me. I know better. They're talking to the general population that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has said that they're all in on trying to appeal to. Arrogant normies who have zero connection to the source material. Who actually, those guys get off on tokenization. They love tokenization. They'll brag about it. Look at this redhead that's no longer a redhead anymore. We're coming for more. They brag about that type of stuff, because they get off on that, because it's more like they look at it like we can take it to these people. But also with them having zero connection to the source material, you can change any and everything. I've said this time and time again. I said it in like three segments this week. Iron Boy, or Spider-Man as y'all call them, that is the most inaccurate live action depiction of Spider-Man that we've ever got. Considering how he acts in relationships to the other characters, this is the most inaccurate and insulting depiction of Spider-Man that we've had. And it's not even close. A lot of people had issues with Andrew Garfield. Andrew is way more accurate than fucking Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's not even close. Like I said, you want to argue about Toby and Andrew, who's more accurate, I will do that for another discussion. But what we can't dispute is that them two are up here, and Iron Boy is way down fucking here. It's not even close. We try to follow them to a T. No. And even when they talk about, like, in this context, it's Loki, it's in the comics, it's who he was. No. Like, you cannot, what you tried to do, and these guys, again, it's textbook gaslighting. Like, look at my previous segments on previous shows when I talk about how they are doing Loki right now, and how none of this makes any fucking sense. This is some recent phenomena of them actually trying to canonize him being bisexual. But what you can't do is in the context of who he's been in Marvel, even if we detached it from like Norse mythology, who he's been in Marvel, to sit up here and flat out say that he is bisexual just because he shapeshift is being disingenuous. This is why I said that if anything, he's asexual. Talking about that's who he was. No, it fucking wasn't. I know they're talking about more of his gender fluidity, but it's more of shape. Like it's funny how shape shifting now equals gender fluid. So anybody that shape shifts, Martian Manhunter's gender fluid guy. Oh shit! I just fucking gave him an idea. Goddamn. I'm gonna have to delete that. I'm gonna have to delete that out of the VOD. Fuck. DC probably looking at my videos out of spite like, we got him. He's right. He's right. Fuck. Anyway, you get what I'm saying? That's disingenuous, man. That's disingenuous, man. You cannot just sit up here and remove, well, this person shapeshifts for a specific reason, right? With a specific cause, definitely when he's fucking God of lies, God of mischief. And completely just remove that from the context of why he shapeshifts and the context of when he's doing it. Like he's just doing it just to fuck because he gets off on being a different gender. Like, come the fuck on, bro. Anyway, Victoria Alonso, there's not much else to talk about here. They're prioritizing representation, what boxes they can check. But in the process, they're fucking lying. Victoria Alonso, she might be the absolute worst part of fucking the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.